check. Did I do this right? I did. I can get this out of my ear. Oh my goodness, I actually got this thing running. We're definitely going to break things. I already broke something in a kind of last minute pre-check, and I realized that, oh, look, and that's not even supposed to be up yet. So let's fix that. Yes, and there's the first thing broken. That's okay. Well, you know, that's what the show is for, figuring out what's broken and how to fix it. Well, not too many people tuning in, but that's okay because this is completely spontaneous and unplanned. But for those of you that are watching, please do say hello in the chat. Now, one of the things that is a bummer about doing this in 4K is there's a much longer latency. So from the time that I say something until you actually see it is significantly longer than when we're just broadcasting in HD and can do the ultra low latency. You can't do that in 4K. You can do kind of a halfway between 4K and do a lower latency, but you can't do the ultra low latency at all. So I'm at the normal right now. So this is the longest latency. We should actually figure out at some point how long that actually is. But it works. And you should be able to see this in 4K. Now, I know a lot of people don't care, and that's fine. You're probably like, why are you doing this 4K? It doesn't matter to me. It's just, it's what I do. I have to do it in 4K because I can. Now, I might end up scaling down the output for live, but I still have a 4K upload. I don't know. We'll see what happens and how this goes. But yeah, I'm so happy to finally be back into doing this live. I am very much looking forward to hearing from people in the chats. There's a few of you watching, but nobody's saying anything yet. So come on, don't make me beg. Say something. And I want to show you all the different goodies that are hooked up here because there's a lot. So for those of you who have seen my regular recorded shows in this position, in this space, you will know that there are many, many camera angles. I don't actually have everything set up for the different cameras now, but I do have my wide and my close, so we've got that. So that's good. There's the wide and the close, and then there's the overhead. Not actually doing anything here, but got the wide, the close, and the overhead. The over the shoulder is not really set up, and I have no idea what the front camera is pointing at. Oh, look, it's not even set up properly. So, but we do have all 5 camera angles that we would normally have during a recorded show. I can do that live, which is, you know, really cool. So let's see, what else can I do in here? Oh, look, oh, good, we're finally getting a comment. It's very exciting. So let me see here. Let me do this. Let me see if I got this part right. I'm going to turn off the little, I don't have my icon. I don't have icons on here. They're just like text buttons. So I'm going to have to totally redo my buttons to make them sensible. But let's see, where did oh, the lower third one. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that so we can drop that away. Although I suppose I should be able to leave that up, but it's going to overlay with the chat. So the chat, I even have a little whatever. Anyway, so JF Oliver is saying, hello, Joseph, the quality is impressive. Why, thank you. I'm very glad to hear that. You know, it's funny, I did a live show with this setup. I had to finish tweaking it for my regular live show, but I did a live for the Blackmagic webinar, so I did a 2-day, 4-hour day, whatever it was, 3-hour day, ridiculous, crazy, long-ass live show, and that was super complex with things that I've since removed from here because it wasn't really relevant long-term, but actually doing that really encouraged me to, made me realize some things that I was missing in here, and I did a couple other really cool things that we're not quite ready to show yet, but I'm going to be able to bring in live callers on this. I have all this cool stuff set up. Anyway, in that show, I felt that the image was too sharp. So interesting thing is whenever I do my regular videos here, I'm of course shooting in log, and then I do my color grading in post. For a live show, obviously can't do that. So in the past, I had simply ran the program through a LUT at the end, and that worked for some things, but not for others. And I realized that was probably pretty silly. And so with the cameras that are here, the BGH1s, I can easily go in and set up presets to load up different color profiles. So I've got my LUT, my log one for regular shooting, and then I set up like I don't even know what this is, standard, normal. Actually, let's find out. Let's see here. And I see there's a couple other chat. You know, let's do that. Let's take a look at the other chats first, and then we'll take a look at that. TVJ, hello back to you. Greg is got it in 2160 on your phone. Awesome, love that. So we should get the full 4K even on the phones. I love it. Germany, 3 a.m. My friend, what are you doing? That is far too early or too late, one of the two. It's like you're at the wrong, like 3 a.m., nothing good happens at 3. Nothing good. You should either be asleep or asleep. Those are basically your options. Michael says, looking slick on your Samsung 4K TV. Excellent. Good. I'm glad to hear that it's up on the big screen for somebody somewhere. That's awesome. Thank you kindly. Keep those comments coming in. We'll come back over to that. So what I wanted to show you, okay, let me think this through. Yes, I do have this set up right. I'm going to load up my PC computer that is showing the whole interface that controls the cameras. So don't expect this to be in sync audio now. There's definitely going to be a delay here. But here's what I wanted to show you. So initially I had set this up, and so I'm going to do this for you, and you guys tell me what you think. So the profile by default has sharpness at 0, which is the standard sharpness. So I'm going to set it back to that, back to 0. We'll just do this one wide shot. Set that, and then we go back to the regular wide shot here. And when I was looking at the recordings of this in the default, I thought, man, it's so sharp, like it's artificially sharp, what's going on? And it's so funny because I don't shoot in anything other than log ever anymore, and it took me a while to go, right, there's settings for that. And so I went into the camera profile settings and adjusted them for each of the cameras. So let's go back to the setting, and now I'm going to go ahead and take this back down, and I found, was it -3? Yeah, -3 seemed to be about right. And you guys tell me if that looks good, if it looks too soft, if that's not the right way. Let's go back to the main camera here, and there you go. So there's where the whole sharpness thing, it was funny because when I was first looking at my footage, I'm going, it doesn't look good. It's too sharp. Where's this sharpening coming from? Silly me. Built into the cameras. It's a feature. Anyway, there we go. So what else is happening in the chat? We've got Freddie waving. Well, back at you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. So let's see here. As you've seen already, I've got the different camera angles. So I got my wide, my close. Let's go ahead and get rid of that guy. The overhead, the shoulder one, which isn't doing anything, and the front one, which is totally not configured right. But those are all there. My office camera, although the lights aren't on in there, the office camera is set up as well, and that's tied into it. So that's where the normal view would be. You've seen the PC, and this is a system that's in my rack, and this is pretty much dedicated to running the cameras. Then you can see, okay, you can see my Mac here, which is also looking at the PC. So let me just change something here. Let's see here. We'll go to, there we go. We'll go to this view. So there's my computer that's in front of me. And now this is one of the key things that made this possible. So for those of you who follow on Twitter who might have seen the comments of me saying, I've been wanting to do 4K for real for a really long time, but there was just one piece that was holding me back, and that piece is finally here. That is something called a decimator. 4K? I forget what they called it. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can find it. The decimator, well, it's probably right on the top of their webpage here. 12G cross. This is it. The new 12G cross HDMI to SDI 4K cross converter. So here's the basic idea here. This thing can convert any format into any format. It's possible 20,000 combinations, but you know, if you need that, then you get a hobby. But the whole idea here is that you can scale anything to anything. And it's not that I needed to scale my Mac image, because of course, if I want to go 4K, the computer will mirror at 4K. But as you are undoubtedly aware, when you go full 4K mirroring, then things get really small. All your text is microscopic. So you want to do kind of like you would do on a Retina display, where you have a 4K display that's, you know, a smaller 4K, and you do looks like 1920 by 1080, and so you get that pixel doubled, that Retina display, that high DPI, whatever you want to call it, whatever marketing term you want to use. But I couldn't get that to mirror through in 4K. I could not get a Retina view in 4K for broadcast. I can record it, but I could never get it through. And recently, I discovered that the newer Atomos recorders will show up in a Mac. If you connect a Mac to it, will show up with basically the high DPI view. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. But I couldn't get that back out. It still just didn't quite work. And I finally got it with this switch, with this decimator. And there's two reasons about it being so perfect for what I'm doing. The first one, and also this goes to why the Atomos didn't work in the end. So first of all, it's allowing the computer to see it as a 4K high DPI screen. So I can see it. So if I actually even go in and look at the, let's go to the system settings in here and go to display settings. So I'm mirroring here. Why did they do, Apple? You know, the display settings button used to be here. They moved it over here, put universal control. I keep hitting this button. Anyway, this whole layout sucks, by the way. God, somebody needs to be talked to. Anyway, so if I look at this as a scaled display, it shows up as 1920 by 1080. You'll notice what's interesting is it no longer says high DPI or whatever, but if I say show all resolutions, now it will show me, where did it go? 1920 by 1080, low resolution. So it recognizes that right now, which is absolutely enormously, massively huge and super, super cool. So that is part of it. The other part, though, the other part is that Macs, and I'm a total Apple fanboy, but max output 30 hertz, aka 30p, and my switcher, to match up with the cameras and everything else, needs to be at 29.97. And that difference is enough to make it not work. And so you can't bring a 2997 4K image into an SDI feed. It just doesn't work. It won't show up. So that little switcher, that little decimator, will take my 2997, take my 30 off of the camera computer and convert that to 2997. And that is what finally allows me to do this in full Retina HD to 4K or 4K, whatever you want to call it, view. And I am, could not be happier. Sorry, could not be happier. That was like the greatest thing. So that allowed me to do this. And you might be saying, so what, who cares? But this is all just part of a goal that I've been striving for literally years that I've been wanting to do this. So I'm super excited about that. So that works perfectly. That's why the Atomos wouldn't work, because it would do the whole pixel doubling thing, but it was still outputting 30p because it doesn't do conversion. It was just outputting 30, and I had to be outputting 2997. Now, the reason I scold a Mac for this is because the PCs actually do this. If we look at my PC, let me get over here so I can control it, and we go into, I barely know how to use Windows. I think if I go to display settings, is that somewhere in here? Display control, no, display settings. Somewhere in here, display settings, that's, anyway, whatever. Resolution, let's try resolution. Resolution, yeah, here we go. Change the resolution of the display. This will allow me, and this is this, yeah, I think this is showing in high DPI mode right now as well. Somewhere in here, advanced display settings. Yeah, here we go. Desktop resolution, active signal 3040. Look at this. Refresh rate 29.97. I can actually set it to that. That is enough alone to make me go, all right, Windows isn't so bad. So very happy. So then everything else is full-on 4K. It really, really is. All right, let's see what the people are saying about the sharpness, because I see some of those comments are coming in. Michael Flotron is saying, I see the sharpness difference clearly. I agree it's too sharp. Good. So you like this? You think this isn't too soft? I could back it off a little bit. This is -3, but it seemed good. Especially the beard. Yeah, exactly. The beard was like crazy razor sharp. It's too crispy. It's like you ran an unsharp mask filter on it. It was just too much. Too much. Oh, okay, so I'm using Aaron Parecki's comment system. I should actually show you how that's running as well. I can't get it to scale the way that I want, so longer comments are getting trimmed here, but I can see the whole thing. So he says, it happened to me, I couldn't stand the sharpness. I started making videos for YouTube and I had to use my webcam since the DSLR was painfully sharp. Well, hopefully you figured out where to change that setting on your camera and now you no longer have that painfully sharp image. And Decimator does make awesome products. They really do. They could have made this one about 5 years ago. Honestly, I have been hitting their booth every year at NAB for probably, I don't know, 6 years. I've been going like, guys, where's the 4K version? Yeah, we're working on it. Worth the wait, I suppose. Finally got it. Super, super happy about that. So the comment system, let me see. How can I show this without the stuff? Can I show this without the stuff? So I can. I think if I do this. Yes. Okay. So that is the screen. Let me get to so that I can control it. But look up here in the corner. There's the tab. This is running at, this is running at a proper, is this the right? No, I'm trying to get the, oh, yes, I can. This is running at full regular 4K. So that's why everything looks microscopic and great. I can't get, no, I'm trying to get to a place where I can control the window, because I'm basically controlling it through screen sharing. Let's get you off of there. I'm basically controlling this through a screen sharing software. There we go. And everything is so tiny on an already small screen that it's a bit of a challenge. But anyway, here you go. Wrong one. Nope. Slides. There it is. There's the screen. So if we look at the display settings in here, you'll see there it's running at true 3040 by 2160. So, and that's the only way this one works. Oh, by the way, this one is still outputting 30 hertz. The reason that this one display works is the ATEM 4K, which is what I'm using, has one HDMI input. That HDMI input is sloppy enough that it will allow a 30 hertz signal to match up with 2997, but it only allows me to do it at 3840 by 2160. I can't do the Retina thing. So believe me, that was the first thing I tried years ago. Anyway, so that's how the slides are coming in. They're on that kind of forgivable range within the one HDMI port, but it has to be at full 4K. So that means that I have to, let's go ahead and bring this back up to full screen. My chats are running at, I think, 300 or 400%, 300% scaled. Everything looks brilliant, but I've been having a hard time getting this box scaled out to the right size to fill it. Anyway, so hopefully Aaron's gonna give me a hand with that. But what it does mean in the end is that once it's done, I've got it pulled in like so. And that whole thing where it flies in, that is a flying key out of the ATEM 4K. So that's how that works. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Let's see here. What else is going on in the chat? Oop, wrong one. Bring that back up. You found it. Excellent. That would be the camera sharpness setting. Very glad to hear that. Another too big one. I wonder if you could output using OBS and an Ultra Studio 4K 2997 on the Mac. A big workaround, I know. So, yes, it's not quite the same, and I don't have to use OBS. I'm actually doing exactly that using Mimo Live, which is how I can do this. So I'm here, and I've got my MacBook Air in front of me, which is the one that's mirrored up there. I'm remote controlling through Jump Desktop. In fact, here, let me just show you that. So let me get this out of the way. Through Jump Desktop, all these other computers. So if I look at Jump, there it is. Through Jump Desktop, I got a few other computers in the studio that I have access to from here. So we'll come back to that. This is the PC. I'm controlling that. So you're now looking at it through Jump. I hit a button here, and now you're looking at the actual direct PC view connected in. Same thing with the slides. There's the direct look, and if we go back to my Mac, and I find the right page, there it is. There's my view, my controlling of it. I also have, though, a separate trackpad here to control it, because that's just easier. There you go. Michael is saying that, yes, you can hold down the Option key when you click Scale. It gives many more options. That's exactly what I did in there when I showed how actually, I guess I hit low resolution, but yes, that gives you more options, but believe me, it doesn't give you the ones that I've been needing all these years. And it certainly doesn't give you 2997. Anyway, but yes, that is a very good trick. If you don't know that, hold down Option, you get more. When you click on Scaled or whatever it is, you get more options. Anyway, so back to, I'm sitting here in front of my Mac Mini. I have my MacBook Air. I've got my main computer, my Mac Pro, in my office. And you've seen that I have the camera on in the office, right? I can pull that up at any time. But I can also pull up the screens from there. This is kind of cool. This is using Mimo Live and the Ultra Studio 4K output. So I hit a button here, and you're seeing the main desktop of my computer. I hit this one, you're seeing the second one, and that's the one that's running, that's got the Mimo Live on it. So that's how that is all running. Hit another button, and they all turn off. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So that all works. So I can bring in all those things. I can bring in these 5 cameras. I'm just going through it. Bring in the 5 cameras, this laptop, the PC, the chat system, which is actually another Mac, as I explained, running through there. My iPad, that's all set up. So this is kind of fun. Wake up, hello, wake up, Mr. iPad. There we go. So it's on YouTube. That's cool. Let's go here to the iPad. Now here's an interesting thing. Let me get something up that's bright so you can see the whole screen. Load Twitter. Okay, Twitter is on. Let's go back to the iPad. Okay, so when you mirror an iPad or plug an iPad into an ATEM, notice the black boxes around it. That is now, I have another button, I have a way I can load that so that it's scaled up. So we're seeing that scaled up to fill the screen. Obviously still have pillar boxes, black bars on the sides, but I can go back and forth between those. So this should be a little bit sharper. That one, though, is a little bit bigger. Now you might be asking, hold on a second, how are you doing that? Because this is HD as well. I didn't hook up a wireless, I gotta do this. I'll have to do, ooh, other camera. Let me figure out why this other camera is so dark, and then I will show you the rigging that's allowing this to be scaled up to 4K, because that's a whole other thing. It's, yes. No, there it is. Okay. Let me get that camera, meaning that camera that you can barely see anything on. Let's get that properly exposed. It's weird. Why is it set that way? Well, here, I'll show you what I'm doing. Let's go to this view. My preset, my C5 preset should be loading up the right one, but I guess, oh, I think I was messing with this for some reason. All right, let's just go to a higher ISO and let's go a little lower aperture. I don't even know, I have no idea what this is set to. Obviously nothing good. And I think that the autofocus is set to manual on the lens itself. Let me see here what's going on. All right, let's just check this over here. And I've got a monitor on this. Let me turn this on. I actually want to point this at, I guess you're not really going to get a good view of that, are you, from there? Anyway, maybe you can kind of see it. So can you kind of sort of, let's go ahead back to this view. Not really, but let me just show it to you anyway. Let me grab a light, shine some light on this thing. You'll notice as well that I am wireless lav, which is critical. Okay. I'm trying to see what, yeah, okay, I can see what you guys can see. Great, so here I've got an ATEM Mini, the original one, ATEM, just the very first one, mounted upside down, so I can easily get to it. So I got 3 spare inputs on here. This is just a big power brick, whatever, power strip that's mounted upside down as well. And anyway, so this right now, this is coming from the iPad and going into here. This goes out into a tiny little 4K scaler. This is a piece of junk scaler, but it works. So this I can do, the ATEM Mini will take in a non-native signal and scale it, right? Because that's what these little guys do. They have little scalers in each input, which, as you might recall from the very first video I ever did about these, that's one of the things that got me so excited. This is scaling it to 1080p 2997, even if it was coming in at something else. That is then going into this crappy little scaler at 2997, 1080p, which is then going into an HDMI, coming out as 4K, 2997, going into an HDMI to SDI converter, and then, can you see that cable? Yep, and then that is running off to the main switcher. So all of this stuff is mounted under here, and I can plug anything else that is non-4K into these, and that will give me the ability to bring any non-4K source onto the show, which is amazing because Nan light Pavo tubes, by the way, rock, love these things. Because when I want to show something like the output from an ATEM Mini, which has multi-view out but only in HD, or I want to show something like what's the brain falling apart? What are these things? The YOLO box. Whew. Sorry, Frank. The YOLO Live YOLO box, which also has an HD output, I can bring those out and do a live show with the two of them together, which is something that I've been wanting to do, but I will finally be able to do. So I can do all of this crazy stuff, scaling anything. I can basically bring anything in. So that's part of it. Then this is the other part that's final steps are coming in. So I do a lot of webinars, like a lot. Zoom meetings, Zoom webinars, GoToWebinars, a lot. And if you've ever been in on one of those, they're pretty much always run from my office, and it's just kind of a very basic setup in there, one camera, and then you can see my screen. I can do whatever I gotta do. Sometimes, though, I want to be able to do stuff from out here. So I've done webinars for, well, like the one for Blackmagic or whatever. I can do webinars for my clients, but I wanted to be able to do them from here. So whenever I did do them from here, it was quite the rigmarole to route everything so that I could patch it into their system and so on. Anyway, so that is all now fixed. I can now take this and I can feed this signal into anything. So one of the outputs from the ATEM goes into my office and goes into it's called a Flint DP4. It's a little USB interface that happens to be 4K, although it doesn't matter for what I'm doing. But it has 2 HDMI inputs, which is really convenient. So my main camera in there, this camera in there, feeds directly into that input, that little Flint box. And the second one, the second input is coming from this ATEM. It's the program from whatever I do here, feeds into that. So I can choose to send either just that camera there. So if I'm just doing something simple, just that camera there, fine. Or I can send this whole program into a GoToWebinar, a Zoom webinar, whatever. I can feed that in and run it from that computer. So then I'm out here, and that's all fine and well, except that if I need to interact with somebody on the show there, a host, a moderator, whatever, I can't do that, right? I can't see them because they're literally in another room. So what I've set up now, I'm going to do a tour of my GoToWebinar Zoom image right in front of me. So when I'm having face-to-face meetings, it's like I have a really nice big image of them. Love that setup. That monitor is being mirrored and not projected, what would you call it? Broadcast, whatever, using wireless HDMI to no, A and B are right there. Wow, what's going on? Hello, there we go. Freaky. A and B, there we go, are there. Right underneath it, there is a confidence monitor that shows me the program, so I know exactly what's on air. Right underneath that is the monitor that I can mirror wirelessly from the office so that I can see whoever I'm talking to. Now, how am I going to listen to them, you might ask? Well, that's the part that is still in progress, but I've got all, I route the audio from my interface on my desk there into the XAir interface, which let me show you what that looks like. Let's bring this up. So this is the XAir input. Right now, this is what you're hearing so this is the program out. Yep, that's the ATEM out. You're hearing me on here. This is a loop back of whatever's coming from the ATEM. So you'll notice you're at 0, but if I look at my bus 1 output, which is my wireless, that is up so that I can, if I want to, I can monitor the show. That's why in the beginning I was like, yes, it works. I can hear the show here, just to kind of make sure everything's okay. But I also, what I'm working on right now is an input from the computer. It's muted right now because the wiring isn't here. It arrives tomorrow. But this will allow me to monitor the audio from the chat where only I can hear it. It doesn't get broadcast out to the rest of, to the show. So so it'd be like this. So this is kind of a small interface. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Actually, can I go bigger? I don't remember how big this thing goes without freaking out. Nope, that's too big. Too big! Back it off. Medium. Actually, I guess, hold on. Sorry, I haven't used this thing in forever. Window height. No. Window, what? Oh, whatever. Close enough. Okay, so anyway, that's this input right here. This is the main input. This is what's going out to you guys. If I bring this up, then you would hear whatever's coming in there. You would hear that, which if I'm bringing them on the air, then obviously you would need to. However, what I can do is simultaneously, let's go back to bus 1, I can listen to it so that I can hear them while you cannot, which is super powerful because that allows me to have a kind of off the air, in my ear, somebody else talking to me. So if I don't need them in the show, I can get them in my ear. But if I do need to bring them into the show, it's just bringing up the faders, all of which I can automate on the Stream Deck using Companion. So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. And then to bring their video in, if I wanted to do as a guest caller from a Zoom call or whatever, or Skype call, that I would use Mimo Live for and build a composite where I've got them in a window and then punch a hole in it for me to come through from here. So that all works as well. And that's just, it's kind of cool. I'm really excited because it's finally together. It's finally here. A couple other comments coming in. Let's see what else is going on in here. Greg says, I need a production assistant. Tell me about it. I need a lot of things. Greg also says, anyone else lose some frames? Lost a second, but could have been anything. That's the YouTubes and the internets, isn't it? Just people were asking. All right, that's it. All right, no, nothing else there that I need to, nothing to see here. So there you go. That's the basics of what I wanted to show. Almost everything has worked. I've got some things to clean up in my chat setup. The lower this thing, because I definitely broke something on there. In fact, when I close the show, that might be broken entirely because of what I had two things stepping on each other that I didn't realize earlier. But yeah. Oh yeah, one other input that's currently set up. This one I haven't done any cropping or anything for picture-in-picture, but if I can find another battery, because I know that this battery is dead, it's in the camera. So this is my GH6. It's quite the rig here. I'm working on a whole video. I've shot a bunch of it already around this and OpenGate. So cool. What am I doing? Oh yeah, let's get this out of the way. Turn the battery here. I can show you the view through the GH6 or any camera in 4K because that's what it's actually outputting is 4K. So let me turn this on and take the lens cap off. Well, I guess this way I could actually show you the other view here. Anyway, where'd that cable go? Here it is. So this, gonna have to find a good way to wire all this stuff. This is just basically going into another HDMI to SDI converter and straight into the switcher. And let's go ahead and plug this in. So hey, what I should be doing is taking advantage of things like my top-down view, which is a little bit too tight. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's a little dark, isn't it? Probably need to add some top-down light. Usually if I'm doing something top-down that's dark like this, I will light it specially. Oops, it's going the wrong way. There we go. Get in there. Oh, come on. Gravity, help me. There it is. Okay, that's in. I don't have that up on my multi-view. I need a multi-view with about 20 previews because the 8 that it has is clearly not enough. But this should work if I did this properly. Which button was it? Oh yeah, Desk 4K. Voila, there it is. Okay. This is all a manual lens in here. Let me darken this up a little bit and focus that. There we go. You can see obviously the full UI of the camera in here. I can turn that off or on. But there I've got the control system of the camera. So you can see all the menus. So if I want to do any kind of menu tours, whatever, through the camera, what I haven't done yet is built a crop to cut that out. So I would build a crop to cut out the black box and then be able to put that, you know, up here or whatever while I'm messing around with it. So that's all configured as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, I think we're good enough. Gotta love the Gerald Undone HDMI cable. Yep, yeah, you know, they're nice. I like them. I like them. It's a little splash of color to everything. This is quite the rig. I do love this rig. It's a bit big. It needs shoulder mounts on it, but what this is, here, I'll just give you a quick little tour of this, and then we're gonna call it a day. So this is, let me get it up here so you can see a little bit better. Obviously the GH6, the lens that's on here is a Makey lens. I'm doing a video on these Makey lenses that is being focus controlled. Oh, and I'm in a cage made by Small Rig. So this is the new Small Rig GH6 cage. Another dedicated video on that. They're sending a whole bunch of accessories for it, so I'll be working on that, but that'll probably be another couple months. Anyway, so Makey lens, the focus control system is the NAN, what's this thing called? NAN, I always forget who makes this thing. Anyway, wireless focus control system. Oh, there it is. Nucleus Nano, that's the one. The Tilta Nucleus Nano. So that's on here, mounted on with a little, I guess I should hold this up, mounted on here with the little bar. And then there's the wireless focus control system handles over here. On top of the cage, on top of the camera, I have mounted the XLR1 with, this only has one receiver right now because the other one's in use, but when I used this on a shoot, I had 2 XLR1 receivers in here. So 2 receivers into the XLR1. These are the Sennheiser AVX receivers. So 2 mics. So I had 2 subjects that I was shooting, and I had a mic on each of them. But because the GH6 can record 4-channel audio, I simultaneously have a Sennheiser little shotgun mic in here, just plugged into the audio 3.5 audio input on here. That allows me to capture the ambient sound, nat sound, whatever, on that shotgun mic. And then obviously there's a handle on here. Let's go back to this view. There's a handle on here. There is a monitor that is just a monitor, not a recorder, because I was recording internally at an open gate. And so this just allowed me to see things a little bit more easy. And then it's taken out right now, but you can see the little pouch on here for the timecode generator, because this was plugged into the camera to generate timecode, because I had 3 other cameras, 3 BGH1s mounted up in corners around the room, around the kitchen. I was shooting in the kitchen, all synced with timecode. So I have this kind of 3-angle BTS of me shooting this for the video. It was really awesome. So this rig is big, it's heavy, and it needs a shoulder mount. But anyway, there you go. Okay, that's enough babbling of incessantness. One more quick look at the comments, and then it is time to go home. Oh, I got all of the John HDMI cable. Yep, Greg says, great quality, definitely raised the bar. Thank you, I appreciate that. Just as like a geek on Christmas morning. I am. I love this stuff. It makes me happy. It's fun, and that's all there is to it. Okay. Everything else good. Audio's been good. Not too quiet, not too loud. I do see occasional red bar, so I might be clipping occasionally. I might need to dial that down a little bit. Please do tell me that. In fact, I'm going to wait and make sure that you guys get a chance to drop that in the comments. I would love to hear audio quality. How is it? How's it sound? Is it too loud or too quiet? If anything, it might be a little bit too loud, but let me know. The sharpness, I think you all agreed that the -3 was better than the 0, but I'd love to hear if you feel like it's too soft, if I should pull it up a little bit, but I'm feeling like it's probably right, but I definitely want your opinion. I know I didn't run through all of them. I guess I could do that. Let's do that. I thought I was done. I thought I was going home. What are you doing, man? Let's go back to, we'll do it on the tight view because it'll be a little bit easier to see. So we're going to do it on this view, and let's load this camera up. There we go. Okay. Photo style. So right now we're at -3. what do I want to do? I'll do -1. Let's set that and go back to that view. So this is at -1. This is at -1. Look at the beard. How's it look? Okay. Now let's go back and switch that to -2. Set. And back to this view. So this is -2. How's that? Any better? Too much? Too little? Not enough? What is it? Give me a thought. Take a look at the beard. It's an easy way to tell. Back to this view. Let's change that now to -3. So that's where I had it before. This was my starting point. So there we go. Back to that. That's -3. What do you think of that? This is where we were before. Is this good? Too much? Too little? Now we'll go to 4 and then 5. Because we can. What else are you going to do on a Wednesday night? Set that, and now we are at -4. So this would be the -4 sharpening. Are we getting too soft? The views that I have is a scaled down HD view, so I can't tell sharpness-wise, which is why I was surprised before when I saw the final output. I was like, oh my. All I'd ever seen it was a quarter resolution HD. So there's that, and then finally we'll go to the -5, and hopefully we'll have an opinion. So vote in the comments now. Now's your chance, last chance to vote. Let us know in the comments what you think. There you go. That is -5, which I'm feeling is probably going to be a little bit on the soft side. But again, I definitely want your opinions. This is important. It's important. I want to know. All right, I'm going to set this back to -3 while we wait for those choices to come in. Okay, now it's back to -3. And yes, let me know what you think. What do we got? We got Greg telling me that the audio is good. That is excellent. Thank you. Glad to hear it. Gear Heaven, love it. Yes, Mark, I know. It's kind of fun. It's a bit much. Now, just before someone says, why would you do all this for your live show? This is not just for the live show, not by any stretch. The live show is the test bed. This is where I can break stuff and it doesn't matter. I then turn around and do these things for clients where I can't break things. So I need to break it beforehand. So doing stuff like this is all about prepping for client work, of which I do quite a bit, especially with COVID, and a ton of stuff online, ton of webinars and things like that. But yeah, that's why. And of course, being able to do the broadcast in 4K means that I don't have to change everything when I want to go from recording a video, which obviously I'm doing in 4K, to broadcast. I don't have to change everything up because that's no fun, man. No one wants to do that. Constantly changing the settings, and that just sucks. So this is a way better solution, and I get to go live in 4K, which is pretty great. I'm bummed about the latency, though. That part does bum me out. I would prefer to have a lower latency, but I guess that's just the way it is. Okay. Oh, here's how we can figure out the latency difference. I have a app in here. Anybody out there who's got this app, Flip Clock is a great way. It's a great one. There we go. We find a view. So, okay, I'm going to, oh, this one doesn't have seconds. Wait, shoot, I need 1 seconds. I'm going to put a clock up that has seconds. Where did this come from? So that you can see the seconds of what I'm seeing, and then you can load it up on your phone and do the same. So, yeah, look for Flip Clock. It's a free app in the App Store. I just got to figure out a view that's showing seconds. There we go. Load. Change the skin. I want this skin. Oh, do I have to pay for that one? I thought I had one that did seconds. I'm so confused right now. Why? VIP. No, that's fine. Okay, done. Okay, there we go. Now we've got it. All right, let's go for a top-down view, overhead. Okay, so there's the real time. So you guys tell me, somebody pull up that same app, and in the meantime, actually, I'll just leave the chat up, and I'll go back to these chats. TVJ says, watching in HD, couldn't really tell much of the difference. Okay. Michael says, -4 was your preference. Alrighty. 1080p, can't tell. No worries. Do you have clients that are requesting 4K? I do absolutely everything in 4K for all of my clients. Always, always, always 4K. Planning to upgrade our field, our field gear to stream track, like track and field, I guess, to stream track in 4K, so I can definitely appreciate the effort to do this. Well, Michael, if you have questions and need help, reach out to me, PhotoJoseph.com/1-to-1, the number 1, TO1, and we can work together. I am available. All right, that should be enough time. Hopefully somebody was able to pull that up and calculate the difference, and I would love to hear what the latency is, and then we're done. I promise you, then we're gonna leave. Or everybody's gonna sit around going, I thought somebody else was gonna do it. Nobody's gonna give me the latency. In which case, I will just cry and go to bed. Let's see here. Anything I need to see in the stream? Data? Nope, all looking good. 33 seconds behind. Oh, that's not bad. That's better than I thought. I thought it was closer to a minute. Okay, I can live with 33 seconds. I mean, I would rather it be 3 seconds. Oh, and Michael says 23 seconds difference. So there's quite a big difference there. So as little as 23 up to 33. Let's see what others say. That's fascinating. Where are you guys? Let me know geographically. I don't need your address, just what state or country or whatever you're in. I'd love to see the difference. I'm in Oregon, so West Coast, United States. So I would love to hear where you guys are. So put in where you are along with the time difference that you calculated, please. Michael says, oh wait, it's way more. I'm not matching. I'm not mathing. 53 seconds. Okay, 53 seconds. Tell me where you are. Greg says 30 seconds is bad. We get 30 from Zoom to YouTube by default. Yeah, fair enough. TVJ says, I ask because a lot of TV production started to go 4K, but they have since switched to 1080 HDR instead. Well, why not go 4K HDR, man? Go all the way. That's what you should be doing. Arguably, HDR is more important. I can actually do this show in HDR, and that would be kind of a next level thing to do, but it's kind of pointless for this. There's no real advantage to doing this in HDR. I have done some of my edited videos from here in HDR. Those are largely experimental, just as I learn the process. And I do a lot. Most of the work that I do professionally is HDR, 4K HDR now, and yeah, I mean, I love doing stuff in HDR. If you like my GH6 launch video, that one was HDR. A lot of my previous videos are HDR. Oh, Michael's in Portland, but what was your difference, Michael? Michael was the one who said 23, but then realized you were miscalculating, right? So it's 53. Okay. So Michael was saying 53 to Portland. Greg, who is at 33 seconds, no, where'd it go? Greg, who is at 33 seconds, I would love to hear what you are. TVJ is 33 seconds in Ohio. Okay. Okay, so Michael in Portland, you're getting ripped off because you are definitely getting a lower latency even though we're physically closer. Obviously, who the heck knows how many hops are being made? It could be going all the way to Australia before it goes to you for all we know, but there you go. Okay, but it seems that, well, except for Michael who calculated a minute, people are saying about 30 seconds. All right, well, you know, it's not terrible, right? It's not terrible. Okay. Are we done? I think we're done. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe. You know the drill. This is the live channel, by the way. So if you're subscribed to my regular channel, but you're like, wait, this is a different channel. This is live. This is the PhotoJoseph live channel. So subscribe here and subscribe on the, look, I've even got a button for that. Look. I pointed the wrong way. Do what that says. Do it again. One more. Do what that says. There you go. See, all these fun. I could do all kinds of animations. It's super fun. Super fun. Oh, Australia. Excellent. Oh, fellow Limerick shooter. Excellent, Paul. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. We're going to knock this thing off. Let's get out of here. Thank you very much, everybody. Final test is when I push the show close button. Let's see if it breaks everything or not. It should. Fade my audio out, bring in house sound, bring up a closing slide, and stop recording the show on my hyperdeck. Fingers crossed. See you next time. Bye-bye.